Hello everybody, Sebastian Ortiz, industrial athlete, free market philosopher. Please share, like, subscribe, share with your friends, family, enemies, your boss. Get fired over this. These ideas are very important and YouTube is not going to suggest them to you, so you need to go out in the world and interact with real world people, real living flesh and bone human beings, and then refer to this. So, industrial athlete, yes, I mentioned this in an earlier video. There are heroes in the process of production. If you have studied economics, you know that the abundance that is created by producing a lot of goods and services is what keeps society well-fed, rich, and prosperous. The people engaging in what economists call division of labor, which really is the production of goods, physical goods and services, those people are not only making society richer, but they are serving the public in a way that is so heroic that it does not come intuitively to people to realize how heroic it is. Because we value things in terms of the relative abundance, and once we are satisfied, they are not of such a great priority. That means once your belly is full, you don't feel like eating more and more. And that means that once you are satisfied, then you have some surplus that you can trade with other people. And this, that there is more production than there is consumption, is what keeps the poor well-fed and with a high quality of living, and what keeps society going. And so you may say, yes, you are saying people don't come to watch you work in a production facility and applaud and cheer the way they do an athlete, and that when someone pays like 100 euros to go sit in a crowded place, and someone who's getting paid millions to exercise in public or to play children's games as an adult, that when they score, you're not getting really anything out of it. When the team wins some kind of prize, it's not like you are a shareholder and you are getting paid for the victory of your team. Whereas when a person who is engaged in production in an industrial setting benefits society, then people get bread on the table. And you may say, yeah, but you're only doing your job, what you're getting paid for. That is true, but that is also the case with professional sports. What makes professional sports in a sense interesting is that indeed we have grown adults trying to do something that otherwise would be leisure, otherwise would be a game, otherwise would be exercise, all things which are unobjectionably good, at a high level of skill and with creativity and grace. And so when people realize that interactions in the marketplace, where you give me this and I give you that and we both benefit because what I get from you I value more than what I already have in abundance, and what you get from me you value more than what you already have in abundance, is a win-win. And when they realize that the government, the state, the nation state is like a bully that comes and says, now you obey what I say and you give me your money and I don't use my fist on you, that when people realize that this is a win-lose, that coercion, extortion, taxation, that this is not a mutually beneficial interaction, then they will appreciate more those people who are constantly engaging in productive activities, in serving others before they are served themselves. You go and work for 8 hours a day so that when you get out, you can sit at a restaurant and be served what you asked for. And so the whole industrial athlete thing is not only a tongue-in-cheek or risque way of saying we are also athletes. No, the athletes are only, to the extent that the public truly wants to go and watch them, they are only creating value to the extent that it satisfies spectators with some kind of entertainment that they have demanded. And I say this in all due charity because sports are one of the most subsidized industries. That is, money is stolen from the general population and is given to people who are professional athletes, so that we don't really know what the real demand is for spectator sports without the gigantic subsidies that teams get from government, local and global, for stadiums, for example. And so, yes, I am not only an industrial athlete, I'm also a juridical athlete. The Saint Sebastian is famous for being very persistent, going and trying to convert into Christianity the Caesar, then being sent to be murdered, and then surviving, then coming again, trying to convert the Caesar, and then being finally murdered. That's why he became the patron saint of athletes. Now, there is a concept of the death athletic by Cody Wilson, the person who studied law and then quit that and then went on to publish the blueprint of the first 3D printed plastic gun that was functional to shoot bullets in the history of the world in the year 2013. And when the United States regulators tried to shut down his website and his company, he took them to court, and he knew that the Supreme Court would have to side with him, because if computer code, the blueprint for the 3D gun, the plastic gun, is a form of speech, then it's protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and the Second Amendment protects the right to bear arms. So the government had to settle. So he has talked about this idea of the revolutionary action has to have such conviction and such bravery that in a way you are like the early Christians. It is being an athlete against death. To paraphrase Jesus, do not be afraid of those who destroy the body. So, yes, I take pride in being an industrial athlete, and I am open to hear about sponsorships. Remember, when Michael Jordan was a rookie in the NBA, he became very popular, but he was not a winner of many championships. It was then, before his becoming a champion, that he got signed onto Nike, and then he made his fortune from having people make a mental association to a very talented person who is inspiring, leads me to want to, as a gesture of support and approval, buy the product that has his name on the brand. So, thank you for watching. Until the next time.